I'm 32 years old and I made a mistake. A reckless, careless mistake that shattered everything I once believed was solid in my life. One moment I was laughing, surrounded by friends, wrapped in the comfort of familiarity and love. The next I was alone in a silent house, numb, staring at my phone's glowing screen, watching it fill with messages, but not the one I desperately needed. I never imagined Ryan would actually leave me. I thought maybe he'd get upset, maybe give me the cold shoulder for a day or two, but leave? Walk out. That was never supposed to happen. That wasn't how our story ended. But he did. He left. And now all I have is silence and regret. It all spiraled down from one careless moment. A throwaway comment meant to entertain, to charm, to show off. I was with friends at dinner, sipping wine, caught in a flow of laughter and teasing, when someone asked a hypothetical question. If I had to choose between my husband and someone else, who would it be? I didn't think. I just smiled, played along with the crowd, and said something I thought was cheeky, funny, harmless. Please, if I had to pick, I'd take my coworker over Ryan any day. People laughed. I laughed. I winked. It felt like nothing. But it wasn't nothing. Ryan didn't laugh. He didn't even smile. He just sat there, staring at me with an unreadable expression, one that should have told me everything. But I brushed it off, rolled my eyes, kissed him on the cheek, told him to lighten up. When we got home, the weight of it hit me. He looked at me quietly and asked, "Do you really feel that way?" I froze. "What are you talking about?" I lied. "Was that a joke? Or do you actually think you'd be better off with someone else?" I could have apologized, explained myself. But I didn't. Instead, I got defensive. Maybe it was pride. Maybe fear. I crossed my arms, scoffed, told him he was overreacting. He laughed then, but it wasn't a laugh filled with humor. It was hollow, sharp. "You know, I've spent years trying to be what you needed. And now, the one time I see you light up, it's over someone else." I told him to stop being dramatic. But he wasn't being dramatic. He was done. His voice didn't raise, his hands didn't shake. He just stood there calm and said, "If you really think there's someone better, then what are we doing here?" I felt the ground shift beneath us. This wasn't just a fight or a storm we could ride out. This was him slipping away from me. "Ryan, wait," I begged, but he was already walking upstairs. I followed, finding him packing quietly. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed like I still had control. "You're leaving over this?" I asked. Without looking at me, he said, "It's not just this. It's everything." Panic crashed over me like a tidal wave. I begged him to stop, to talk, to understand that I didn't mean it. But he didn't even blink. He finished packing, grabbed his keys, and walked out. I thought he'd come back. I thought he just needed time. But days passed in silence. Then came the email, a real estate agent's follow-up about an apartment inquiry. He wasn't cooling off, he was moving on. I called, but he let it go to voicemail. I texted nothing. Finally, I sent a voice message, my voice trembling as I told him I didn't mean it, that he was the only one I wanted, that I was sorry. His reply was one cold line: "Thanks for confirming what I suspected for a while. You just use people for what they can give you." I guess I was no different. That's when it really hit me, because he wasn't wrong. I called again. This time he answered, but his voice was cold and distant. "What do you want, Caroline?" he asked. I stumbled through my apology, desperate to fix something already broken beyond repair. "I need time to think," he said. "Don't call me again until I reach out." And that was the last time I heard his voice. Now I sit here alone, staring at the screen, checking my phone every few minutes, knowing deep down the message I'm waiting for will never come. I thought I had the upper hand. I thought I could say anything, do anything, and he'd always stay. But he didn't. And the worst part? The coworker I joked about, he was never interested. That moment of fake power, of attention, it meant nothing. Now I have nothing. No one to blame but myself.